loss. And
unfortunately, apparently we had no sound. Can anybody? Is anyone out there? Are you able to hear us yet?
Oh no.
Well, that's tragic because that was a very, very good intro, if I do say so myself. Very interesting. Is anybody able to? Oh, okay, they've got us now.
Oh, thankfully. Well, good evening, everybody.
So that was a bit of a dud 6 minutes there. We apologise for that.
Was that 6 minutes? Oh.
6 minutes of us
talking to
never
one
to be heard again. Okay, so we'll flip rewind it.
Quickly,
take it back now.
Yeah, we'll quickly recap.
Take it back now, y'all. Okay,
yeah.
So
good evening.
Good evening. So tonight we're going to actually cover everything from the very, very start of hair loss. So it's a really popular misconception, as I'm sure a lot of you will find if you've got a business that, you know, caters to people that are experiencing hair loss, or you have a wig shop. People will immediately just see you as a wig shop, or that you sell wigs, and that it's the one solution to the problem. And it's just not the case. Not everyone qualifies for a wig, do they?
No, not everybody needs to wear a wig.
You can have one if you want one, but it's just that it's maybe not the best solution.
I think sometimes it's finding the right solution for you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you come into a wig shop, or you come into any of our centres, or to anybody we supply, they'll actually talk you through your options.
Yeah.
I know for years when I've actually been working with the end user, you see people come in, they're wearing a wig, and then you remove it and they've got a great head full of hair brand.
Okay.
And it could be that they've just got an area of scarring tissue. It can be where it's just thinning, but they're covering it all up. And I think, and I'm a great advocate, that if you've got your own hair, try to use it and try to actually work with it and enhance what you've actually got to begin with. It might be that eventually that hair loss actually gets bigger and you lose more and more hair, that you do need to go into a wig. But I think in those very beginning, in those early stages, you can probably get away with lots of different other things.
Yeah, because your immediate reaction, I guess, if you have like a widening of the parting, or say your hairline starts to go back, you know, is to cover that up.
Cover it up.
And it would be with a wig or with hairpiece, or well, probably not even a hairpiece.
Not even a hairpiece.
You don't even know about that, but headwear.
It would be a piece of headwear if they didn't want to wear a wig. Mm-hmm. Definitely a wig or some headwear.
Like a man would just start wearing a baseball cap.
Yeah,
or
just to actually hide it.
You know, it's just how it works.
And also I think at that stage when you actually first experience that kind of very small amount of hair loss where it is actually thinning, people panic. They lose their confidence as well so quickly, because all they actually see when they look in the mirror is that thinning hair.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, instead of kind of sitting upright and being quite bold and quite outgoing like you always were, you suddenly kind of just hunch in on yourself.
Right.
And you don't want people to actually notice you. So you might start wearing much duller clothes, you're not really doing your makeup because you're not drawing attention to yourself.
So it's like a mental health thing, isn't it? You start to really retract and isolate yourself, and there's so much that you can do that is not just kind of hiding the hair loss, but also hiding away yourself. So we thought it would be quite a good topic for us to really look at today, the ways that you can travel right through your hair loss journey, and we can assist you with that. As Jane said earlier, it may not even get to the point where you need to move from one stage to the other. It may be that you can get away with just using a concealing product.
You could have a concealing spray that you might use, and that might actually last you for a good number of years before you actually need to move on to the next stage.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is kind of touching base with maybe your local salon, your local wig centre, your local boutique, and they'd be able to talk you through as you go back in just to replenish your products as they run out. They'll be able to actually say, you know, maybe now it's time we just moved on to a little enhancer just for the parting area, or maybe, you know, you've got FFA, frontal fibrosis and alopecia, which is so common nowadays, and we're seeing so much more of that, and people coming through our doors with it, that when your hairline starts to shift back, you then begin to have a very unnatural look with your whole face. So that's when we can actually make pieces just for that frontal area for you. So we're adding back in that hairline.
Okay. So I think a big one to begin with is if your hair is generally looking finer or more sparse, I think that's where you start to notice in an area, isn't it, of the hair, whether that's at the front, in the parting, or just a particular section, when you start to notice that hair loss begins. So where would we go if that was the case? What would be the first recommendation?
Our first recommendation would be if somebody was to actually come into us to actually speak about their problems, saying about the hair loss that they actually are experiencing, to actually help to actually hide that hair loss, help to give them a little bit more confidence and to actually boost that confidence. We would probably be looking at offering something like the K-Max concealer.
Okay.
This is absolutely great. It's a spray. It comes in 6 different shades as well. Mm-hmm. So we've got black, dark brown, medium brown, light brown, a blonde, and a dark grey as well. So the colour there for everybody, basically. And what you would actually do is actually spray that along the actual area where the hair loss is, or the thinning hair. And when you've got thinning hair just on your parting area to begin with, it's a trick of the light, really, Bradley.
I was going to say this to you because I noticed, I went to the little boys' room before we went live, and the overhead lighting, when you have that, my hair's quite fine.
Yeah.
I can see my scalp so clearly. It's quite alarming.
Yeah, and this is what you get. What it is, the light or the sun reflects onto the scalp, and it actually makes you look a lot thinner than you actually are. So by using a concealer of some sort, it will actually help to actually stop that light reflection. Okay. So your hair immediately looks thicker. And also with these concealing colour sprays, it actually helps to actually thicken the hair as well. So it's going to give you that extra body that you actually require.
What colour have you got there, Jane?
Well, I've actually got the perfect colour for you. This is what I did look.
Are we going to give this a go?
So this is the blonde shade, which we've got, and I did think we're going to, if I can take my...
Of course you can, go nuts.
Get it back, my darling.
It's kind of stayed in position there.
Yeah, Bradley's got just each individual hair is really, really fine.
Yeah.
But he's beginning to get, if you don't mind me saying, a little bit self-conscious maybe around that hairline area. And you can actually see it quite well on the screen as well. That you're going slightly, I mean, you're not thin by any means, but you're going a little bit lighter through there. And obviously that light is playing a big part in that, reflecting onto the scalp. And we're actually under quite bright lights anyway, so it's making it a lot worse. So by using the spray, it's just going to actually help to disguise that and just thicken it up ever so slightly. So you would just spray it through that root area. And you can see it's just beginning to colour. And if we just do one side, and we can leave the other side. Got it all on his forehead now as well. This washes out quite easily as well, so you don't have to worry about using this. It will wash out. It's not going to actually affect any of your hair growth. And I'm just then going to take it just through the ends of Bradley's hair as well, because it's just going to give Bradley a little bit more kind of substance to his actual hair.
Probably needs a bit of that.
I mean, Bradley's got his lovely baby lights in there at the moment, which you can actually see. But you can see when you actually look at the hairline, how much thicker the actual hair looks to when we actually look it the other side where we've not sprayed it on. So it will, and it does give you that extra oomph. It gives your hair a little bit more substance. It's almost like putting a dry shampoo into your hair. It's that kind of feeling, but it's a coloured dry shampoo that will actually stop all that light reflection. And that's the aim of what we actually want to do with the actual colour concealer. It's a really simple option, not an expensive option. I think these retail at about £18.50.
Okay, it's quite a big
and
spray
it's a
as well.
big spray, yeah. You get a lot in there, so that's going to actually last you quite a long time because you're not going to actually use a huge amount of it. Every time you shampoo your hair, you're going to need to reuse it, obviously. And it's something that you might not use every day. It might be that you use it when you're just going out and going to work or doing different things. So it's quite good.
Okay.
It's a fairly new product to us as a company. We sell it through all our retail salons. You can also buy it online as well. And it's quite a good product, I think. I like it. It works really well. Another good thing that actually works, well, just as a tip for any of you ladies out there, and I would have done it on myself tonight, but I had my colour done last week, so I'm fine. If you've had your colour done and then it's grown out and you're beginning to get your grey roots actually coming through, just use the darker shade that you want and it will actually just disguise that grey root as well.
Yeah.
So if you've got a meeting that you're going to, or you're going to actually do something and you haven't got time to get to the salon to get your colour done, use one of the concealers.
Yeah. So we have a question about that, and that is, will it block pores?
No.
No. I don't feel like it feels particularly claggy or anything.
It doesn't feel heavy
on
on you.
I think it feels lighter than a dry shampoo would, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
That feels like that would do more clogging up of the pores.
Yeah, it's not going to actually clog up the actual hair follicle or your pores at all. It's not going to actually stop the hair growth or affect any of your hair growth as well. And because you're going to be actually shampooing it off, you wear it one day and you probably shampoo it off the same day. What I would say though, if you've still got it on when you go to bed, just get an old pillowcase to actually sleep on because the colour will actually rub off onto the actual bedding. So you just want to be a little bit mindful about that, I would say.
It'd be like when you go to sleep after a spray tan and there's a human shape left in the bed. Yeah, it would be just like that. We're all kind of used to that sort of thing.
Yeah, you would actually. It wouldn't smell as bad though.
No,
you wouldn't
not
get
the biscuity smell that you get with that.
I don't like that smell at all.
Okay, so your first point of call then is conceal, don't feel. So your second...
So yeah, concealer would be absolutely great. And then moving on from there, you might be looking at a top piece.
Okay.
But you probably want something really quite lightweight to begin with. Because I think when ladies start to experience that thinning hair and that hair loss, if you put something on that's too thick, too heavy, they immediately go, oh no, it's too much, don't like it. And you put them off
quite a big change,
really.
Isn't it?
A massive change. So we've got little top pieces that you can have. This is one that's been made for somebody, but we do a lot of ones that we keep in stock as well, in synthetic hair, in human hair, in like the Amore range, Noriko, High Fashion, Ellen Veil, Stimulate. So there's pieces everywhere that you can find. But this one is so beautiful because of that top. It looks, and if I bring that a little bit closer to the camera, you can see it just looks as if that hair is growing from the actual scalp. So you can get things that look really, really natural for the client, really lightweight. And as you can see, the base is actually quite small as well. And it's got this French drawn area, and that's why we look and see that it's actually growing from the scalp. And that, just placing that on top of somebody's head, would just give them that little bit of extra volume and coverage that they actually want, which is just perfect, really. And I think we've got a slide that we can show you for the first slide, which is showing you exactly what I'm meaning. And this lady's got female pattern baldness, so she's lost that top area of her head. And as you can really see, she's really quite thin, And then by wearing a piece just like this one that I've actually got here, it just gives her that volume. And she can just wear it daily. She can clip it in by using clips with her existing hair and go about her business looking really, really natural. And I think that's a really important thing, to be able to actually do that as well.
So have you got any other pieces that are for specific areas of hair loss rather than going straight into a kind of all covering top piece?
We've got lots of different ones that you can actually do, because you do have lots of different types of hair loss. And sometimes you might go into a salon, maybe you've got frontal fibrosis and alopecia and you've lost your front hairline. And this piece, and let me just bring the head in so we can start having a little look at different things. This little piece, because sometimes you will might have this actual problem of FFA, you're losing that front hairline, you go into a shop and they've got nothing available. It has to be custom made for you because it's such a unique area to get the contour, to get the actual colour as well. But if you've got somebody who's quite clever, they can actually work with all the different wigs and pieces. This piece was actually made from a full head wig. So all we've done was reduced the full head wig. So we've kept the lace front and we've kept the tape tabs at the actual side, choosing a wig in the right colour. And if you imagine that was on somebody's front hairline, again, it just gives them their front hairline back. So a really simple thing to do, something that looks quite amazing, and it can actually be done on the day or within a couple of days for you. If the stylist needs a bit of time to actually do it, you might have to go back. That would work really well whilst you were waiting to have something made. Because if you're looking for a custom made piece to be made, if it was in cyber hair and V hair, you're probably looking for up to about 14 weeks. In human hair, an awful lot longer. So a little piece like that would work really, really well. And that's just taking something from stock to actually look after that front area, Bradley. We see other people, though, with different areas of scarring tissue.
Okay, this is an interesting one that I wanted to talk to you about. We have some pictures of this as well.
We do. Yeah, this lady on the screen now that you can actually see in the slide, she's actually got some scarring tissue on the very top of her head. When we first met this lady, she was actually wearing a wig. She didn't know there was anything else available. So again, we just took a template. Again, you can have a piece from stock that you can just clip in. And it's just what I would call a jigsaw piece. So it's just hiding that area of hair loss.
Okay, so we've had a question about that, Jane, before we showcase how that works. You just mentioned about clipping it on. Are there other ways it can be attached? Can it be glued on? Does it have to be clipped? Is it your preference?
I think a lot of it is the customer's preference, but it also depends on the hair loss that she's got or he's got. I always think if the client has still got any hair, you don't want to actually be taping it on or bonding it on, because you're going to be actually pulling the hair out when you actually remove it. So then you're better off by using the actual clips. If you're going to be bonding it on, you are going to have to actually shave the area so you've got a clean area that you're going to be working with. So if they've got hair, clip it on. If it's an area of scarring tissue, then yeah, you can tape it, you can glue it, you can do whichever you want. So with the lady in the image, if you made the piece just for exactly that size and shape, you can use tape or you can use glue. If she wanted to clip it on, you would be taking it down into the stronger growing hair to actually clip it on.
So it would have to be slightly larger than that
area.
So
it would you would take it about an inch around the actual side of it, so to allow for the actual clips.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and if you're clipping a piece on, again, as a tip, I would always say add additional clips into the piece. and then you can alternate them each day where you're clipping it, and that takes a lot of stress off the actual hair. And also the area where you are clipping it in, just gently backcomb that area, and again that will actually help give you a little bit of padding, and you can actually clip into that padded bit of hair as well. On this piece, as you can see, it just looks as if this lady has got a full head of hair on this particular side, but what she actually has got is an area. I'll just take this little piece off. Scarring tissue. So this particular lady, she might have had an operation. She's got an area of scarring tissue. The hair is not going to grow back, but she's really conscious that if the wind blows, you're going to actually be able to see that area. So what you can do is just make tiny little pieces. So you would just take a little template of that area, make a little piece, where are we, just like this, on all over the skin, in exactly the same colour as the client's hair, and then you would just stick it in with double-sided tape, and again it just disguises that area. It just gives that client that full head of hair, which is brilliant. When you've got bigger areas, and you might have a scarring area, and again we've got another image of the lady with the white hair.
Yeah.
And this lady's really interesting. This is the one. You'll be able to see on the screen she's got a really big area of scarring tissue. And because of that, she used to wear a wig to actually cover all of that area up. And she came to us and found us. And again, we actually suggested that we make her something so she can just stick it on with double-sided tape, look after it herself, and get rid of that area. So again, we've shaved off our dummy's head on one side, as you can actually see. Made another little piece, Bradley.
It's really lovely, that as well. Beautifully done, isn't it?
Really, really smooth. Yeah, you can't feel the knots at all.
No.
You can't feel
Really,
anything.
really nice.
Really nice. You would put a little bit of tape onto it, and I'll just put some tape on really quickly just to show you how this one would attach. Again, if you wanted it bonded on, you could bond it on as well. It wouldn't be an issue. I think by using tape and not glue, you can actually clean it a lot easier. You can take it off when you want to and give your hair a really good shampoo. So that's just a tiny little bit of tape gone in. And again, just take that in to the actual side, bring her hair down over the top, and then you would just cut it in to actually blend with the client's own hair. And it just gives you that head of hair, Bradley. It's a simple, easy way to actually disguise areas of hair loss. And I think there's a lot of people out there with different areas of hair loss like that, which I always find really interesting to work with, because I think they're quite fascinating.
Yeah, they are.
And you can do so much with them, which just really simple solutions, but is knowing about those solutions and how they actually work.
Yeah.
Really, which is great.
With an area of hair loss as well, like if it's a custom created piece for you, you can do anything with it to match your hair type, can't you?
Yeah, we can actually match the texture of the hair. We can actually match the colour of the hair. If you have a rooted colour, you know, any blonde shades, grey shades, we can actually match to anything.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So again, it's quite special. It's quite specialised work. So you need to go to somebody who specialises in custom made work, but you can have anything made for that client, which is easy.
Yeah.
Nice, easy solution. And then what you've given is that client back that real head of hair. and they're not having to wear a wig to disguise it or tying their hair back and not worrying about the wind or any of the different conditions that people are actually going out in. So I think that works really, really well for clients. This is another larger one, again for FFA. So just to show you that you can do kind of any shape that you actually want. Because when people do have frontal fibrosis and alopecia, their hair loss starts at their front hairline in ladies, and it can actually go back right to the crown, or it can go back an inch or 2 inches. And in those cases, you really want to actually disguise it. So if you go back to the lady with the curly hair, this is one. And this particular lady's as well, I've got a sample of what she wears. And she wears a little piece that is on a lace fronted base. So we've got that lovely lace front and some material at the back. But when you look at the front hairline, again, it just looks really, really natural. And you can see by that, you can actually match the texture of the hair and the colour of the hair. Because I think when you've got FFA and your hairline is shrinking back, you actually then kind of, your face is really elongated and you have a really kind of odd look about you, which a lot of ladies find quite embarrassing and quite disturbing. So again, something like that could be just made to actually go on to that front area.
Wow, that's amazing.
Very clever.
Really is.
But yeah, it's just how natural it looks.
Yeah.
I think that's the most incredible thing, that you get that really natural look to it as well, which is fantastic.
So then moving on from there, so your hair loss then expands in the area of how much hair loss you've got. What's the next step?
Yeah, I suppose really the next step is, I mean, because that was covering scarring tissues, the kind of medical ones, FFA for the actual front. You've got, if you're actually started off with, and we started off using a concealer with you because your parting was actually getting slightly thinner. As that parting area begins to actually get thinner all the way around, and you're getting quite thin through that top area, that's when you might want to go into an enhancer. And we keep quite a lot of these different ones in stock, so you can get them different sizes, different shapes. You can get them a lot narrower, so they'll just do the parting area, or as that hair loss gets wider, they can actually go into that area. They've got clips on them already, so you've got your snap lock combs to actually attach. A little bit of lace just at that front again, so you can have a really natural looking front area. And also the hair looks really quite natural as well. When it's on, again, it just looks as if it's growing from the scalp. So with that, again, you would just pop it into position and just clip it on into place with your clip spraggling. And by doing that, again, you've disguised that hair loss for the client, which is fantastic, and that's what you actually want to do, is disguise the hair loss area, but we're still using all of the client's own hair, so it's just blending it in, and it just looks really natural for them.
You know, now that I've seen this in action, I think that these get used a lot in like Hollywood.
Yes.
And on the red carpet and things like that.
Absolutely. I think most people, even if they've actually got quite thick hair, people use them to give themselves more body, more volume. If they're putting their hair up, it'll actually make it look so much thicker as well.
Yeah.
And it's that volume that people can't get sometimes. So wearing an enhancer, you can actually get that extra lift in that extra volume.
Yeah, there really is a lot of lift, kind of,
yeah,
in the right places where it's very complimentary.
And it just actually makes people, I think, with ladies particularly, when you've got that type of kind of thinning hair on the top and you want something a bit more, it does actually take years off you as well by giving you that extra volume with your hair. So you will find a lot of ladies probably do wear them.
Yep.
It's probably one of their big secrets that nobody actually knows about. They don't tell anybody about. And it's a great little tip.
Yeah.
Really, I think they're great. Great for when you're on holiday. If you've
because
been
I suppose you can kind of get away with not doing your hair so much if you can clip these on.
If you can clip these onto the top of your hair, you might just want to, tie it up, do a few little things with it, and it just makes it look as if you've got great head of hair.
Fantastic.
Really. So they're a really nice and a very easy, simple solution for people.
It's very quick for you
use.
to apply that as well.
It's very, very quick to put on. Yeah.
Well, we've had a couple of questions, Jane, so I've just whizzed through these whilst we get moving on to the next one. So the first one is, how do I become a stockist? So if you are watching us tonight and you have a wig salon or a shop, or you offer any kind of hair solution and would like to work with our products or with us, just contact us on info@trendco.co.uk. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and we can then let you know how you can work with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Very exciting. We'd love to hear from anyone that wants to.
Yeah, we're always looking for new trade accounts, new people actually joining us. Any new people joining us, we offer lots of different training and education courses as well.
Yeah, you get extra dose of Jane.
Yeah, you get you get a whole day of me as well. So yeah, lots of different things going on for new trade accounts.
Lovely.
Which is great. So yeah, just get in touch with us. It'd be fantastic.
And the next question we have is, do you do curly enhancers? Do we have them in stock? So we can't check stock for you whilst we're live, unfortunately. But if you ring through to our customer service team, again, number, you might have to do it, Jane. Where are you?
There I am. Yeah.
The number down there. Tomorrow, between the hours of 9 and 5, or drop us an email to info@trendco.co.uk, which is also down there. Let us know what sort of thing you're looking for. Yeah. Most of our products can be found on our website, which is just below my chin. Then you will be able to see what we have. But here is a curly enhancer now. So there we go.
Yeah, we do straight ones, we do curly ones, we do human hair ones. Obviously, if it's human hair, you're going to be able to style it as you actually want to as well. If there's something that we don't have as an enhancer, again, we can actually take any of our wigs and actually create an enhancer for you. So that's not a problem, and that's really easy for us to actually do as well. So that can actually be done quite easily. As you can see, this is the little curlier one we were showing earlier.
I
mean, it's not the same colour as the model's hair underneath, but what a difference it makes, doesn't it?
It's beautiful.
Really, if she had quite short hair underneath, take that away. It's just that soft little, it just shushes it up a little bit.
It's a lovely shape.
It is a nice shape, isn't it? It's lovely. Nice little colour, and you've just got that soft little kind of movement to it. So it's just really thinking about enhancing what you've actually got.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to disguise what you've actually got and disguising that problem, is just working with it and trying to actually do a lot more things.
Yeah.
Which is great. So I'll just remove that little one. And this is the bigger one for the FFA Bradley. As you can see, if that lady had FFA, it would just
cover
give
that whole area, wouldn't it?
A whole area, all the way down to her hairline at the actual sides, and just fill in that whole area for her. And it just makes all the difference, really. And I'm sure there's a lot of people watching who maybe has got that problem, or know of somebody and think, God, I wish my friend knew about that.
Yeah.
And you can just tell your friend a little bit about us.
I think the key here is that if you, regardless of where you are in your hair loss journey, or your friend or someone you know, if you just pay us a visit to one of the salons that we have across the country, there are 7 of them, so they're in kind of all the key cities, really. So there's one fairly near everyone. Then we can just have a consultation with you. We will help you to find the solution that's right for you. Things that you probably haven't even thought of. Yeah,
and actually, if you just ring, again, our head office number, 01273 774977, give them your postcode, and they'll actually be able to tell you where your local stockist is.
Yeah,
or where your local Aderans salon is as well.
Yeah.
So we will pinpoint you in the right direction for you to actually go with those actual people.
Yeah.
Another one I just want to talk to you about briefly is so many ladies out there, young girls, teenagers, 20-year-olds, have extensions, have their extensions removed, and they need to give their hair a bit of a rest, a little bit of a break. But as soon as they have them taken out, they're all like, oh, God, I haven't got any hair. It feels really thin and everything else. So we do a piece, what we call a Saptimate. It's a 3/4 wig, basically. Nice long hair, little combs at the top and at the bottom, and that would just slide in just back from the natural hairline. This lady doesn't have a poor hairline, but as you can see, it just gives that whole extra amount of hair. And these come in a fibre as well, synthetic fibre, and they also come in human hair as well. And I think for those people who are having their extensions taken out, they need to give their own hair a rest. Again, this is one of those really great solutions. Yeah. Or if you go into a party, go into a wedding, and you want to look like you've got that really beautiful hair for the day, another great solution to wear.
There you go.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of I would say a lot of our girls in the office wear these.
Oh, they definitely have. On a night out.
They all put their hair in.
They do.
It's all glam, isn't it?
It's very glam.
Lipstick in hair, they all look amazing.
That's it.
It's with the help of something like this.
Yeah.
Which is, again, amazing. And you'll find that in our Love's Change collection. Look in there in the brochure or on the website, and you'll be able to see it on there as well.
Fantastic.
Which is great.
Got a couple more messages that have come through. The first one is from Vanessa. Says, I sent over an application today. So I'm opening a hair loss and wig business very soon. Really hope to be working with you. Love all your education. Find it so helpful. Thank you so much. We hope to be working with you too.
Yeah, you're welcome, Vanessa. Hope to meet you soon.
Absolutely. I love getting the feedback that people enjoy what we do.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
Yeah. I think well, for me and for you, it just means so much, doesn't it, really?
It does. We have people that have been watching us now for 2 years. Every week, sometimes, you know.
Our loyal followers, isn't it? But it does mean a lot, doesn't it, really?
It really does.
Yeah, when we kind of think about what we're going to talk about next week and the different subjects we come up with, isn't it? To keep you all entertained.
Yes. And we have a message from Tommy. Any men's grey hair wig, not hair systems. Now, we do have men's wigs, don't we?
We do.
I think we won't be able to get them today because they're not in the room with us, but we would be more than happy to obviously have a consultation with you if you pop on down to a salon, or if you want to do a video call consultation.
Yeah, we do two men's forehead wigs, one called Baaki and one called Mike. Nice. One's synthetic and one is human hair. They come in slightly larger sizes than what our ladies' wigs do, so they'll be absolutely perfect for you. And very easily to get a hold of.
And obviously, if you come in and have it within the salon, we can
cut it
we can
personalise it for you as well.
You want it to look. So.
Yeah, but they're great.
They are great.
Yeah, so it's not just ladies. We do cover for your men as well.
Yep. So everything you've seen tonight in terms of the custom pieces you can have made or sections to have put into like a jigsaw piece, we do for men too.
Yeah, and this is just so you men aren't feeling left out. A little men's piece on here, just on with a little bit of tape. So as you can see, you've got your foundation, and again, such a natural look really as well when you actually look at that scalp. So there's something for absolutely everybody. And I think we've got a nice before and after of one of our men wearing a piece as well on there, Bradley.
Yeah.
And as you can see, this young man, he just looks
totally different.
Fresh.
Yeah.
He looks more alive, he looks fresh, he looks happy, and and that's just what wearing a hairpiece or a unit can actually do for you.
Yeah, you can see it in his face. He just immediately looks.
He's like, he wants to jump around. Yeah, look at me. Yeah.
Which is what it's all about. You know, we're all here to help you to feel your best and restore your confidence.
And that's what it is, Bradley. It's that confidence, isn't it? Making you feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
Making you want to go out and face the world and just go about your normal daily life, isn't it? With that confidence, which is the most important thing, really.
Okay, we've got another question, Jane. So
excellent. We've got lots of questions tonight.
Keep them coming, guys. We love these. So, is that a real piece or a fibre, the blonde one? So I think the Saptimate.
That was a human hair one. Yeah.
So that one is a human hair. And what's the colour on that one? Is it the champagne?
This is.
Oh, this is stuck on the light.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's human hair, and this is actually gold blonde.
Oh, it's the gold blonde.
Yeah, in that colour.
Okay.
But lovely. It's about 18 inches in hair length, so a nice lot of hair. But we also do the equivalent in a synthetic fibre as well, which is obviously going to be maybe a little bit more affordable for people. And if it's going to be for like a one-off wear, maybe a lot of brides wear them as well.
Yeah.
Because they can actually use it to do a really nice hair up.
And they do blend nicely with the hair as well. They're not like overly synthetic-looking synthetic.
No, they look really natural. They are very natural looking, the synthetic ones. And again, for that one-off wear, or just for a holiday season, you're going away for a fortnight and you want to use it every evening when you're going out, then it's the Athena and the Apollo, isn't it? And they actually look really, really good. Yeah. Athena and Aphrodite, sorry, not Apollo.
Getting your gods mixed
up. It wasn't, I was getting my gods mixed up. Yeah, they weren't looking at me tonight,
no,
were they?
They weren't.
Yeah, getting the wrong words.
Okay, Jane, so we've gone all the way through the spectrum now. And there's one thing that I think I want to mention, because tonight we're obviously talking about disguising hair loss. So we haven't covered this so far, but we also offer a full trichology service within our salon.
We do.
So that won't help you to disguise your hair loss per se, but it's still part of the hair loss journey. So when you start to experience hair loss, or you feel like you have it in your family and you predict it's coming, you can speak to one of our specialists in the salon.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, when you first are on that journey and you actually start seeing and feeling that you're losing some hair and it's actually getting thinner, it's easier to actually help it at the beginning rather than wait till it's actually too late. So start at the very beginning. There's a whole range of different treatments, different shampoos and treatments they can actually offer you. They can have light therapy treatment that you can have as a treatment in salon, or you can actually do at home as well. So when you sat down watching us, watching the telly, you can be doing the light therapy treatment, and that's just going to actually help to stimulate the follicle and actually help with the reproduction of your actual hair growth. But all of our trichologists would be able to talk you through exactly what you need and what will work. If they think it's actually got to the stage that you need the help of one of our experts in the actual hair loss salons, then they'll actually point you into that direction, so we can actually help you there. So there's something for everybody, male or female, at each step of the way, isn't it, really? And that's quite important, really. And I think for us as a hair loss centre, we want to be able to kind of help anybody with any sort of hair loss.
Exactly.
And it could be, with alopecia, there's so many types of alopecia that is actually helping all of those different clients. And then, I mean, for the worst type of alopecia, or the most severe type, you've got Alopecia Universalis, is where you lose all your hair, you lose all your body hair. And that's when we would come into making something really custom made for the client. So it'd be taken for the whole contour of their actual head. You would actually talk about colour and style and depth. And then you can say the pieces are made and they're cut and styled, and all the colours are actually done for them. So they just look exactly like your own growing hair. They would just replicate that. And every one that we make like this, you have about 100 to 120,000 hairs knotted into one piece. And if you actually look at the top of that, if I can get that with the camera, again, it just looks like a very natural head of hair. So we can replicate and do anything for most people, you know, depending on what hair loss they've got. At the start of the journey, or even at that end of the journey, they might have been wearing a wig for years, just covering something up, because they didn't know there was any other solutions for them.
No, exactly.
And I think that's what happens a lot of the time. People don't know what is actually available currently. So yeah, get in touch with us.
Well, hopefully now you know. So thank you so much for joining us tonight, going through the whole spectrum of the hair loss journey with us.
Which is quite interesting. And I think there's so many different ones.
There's so many things.
I mean, you could talk for hours.
Yeah,
just
we
on
would
one
make this
subject.
a 4-part series if we felt like it was going to be something that you'd all tune in for every week.
Absolutely, yeah, we could actually take you really slowly all the way through.
Because there's so much that can be done, especially when it comes into the field of custom-made, section pieces or a top piece or a full wig. The possibilities are endless. Everything's possible. It's just your imagination and somebody being able to do it for you. Exactly.
Yeah, nothing's impossible.
No. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. We will be back with you very soon.
Yes.
And we will see you then.
We'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure, and hopefully we'll speak to some of you soon and see some of you again soon.
Yes.
Take care, everybody.